Yes, good that you're watching to the weekly Monday stream where we discuss the gaming news together. Of course, kind of based on the Sunday video that we post every Sunday on the main channel. And here we can kind of lay back, discuss some of the things. I record topics that then later show up as videos on this React channel. Of course, subscribe if you are new. That way you don't miss anything. Hey, Brock, good to see you. Saber Knight Kenny, Commander Jane Shepard, Mick Motorhead, Mr. Kittler, 53 Nights. Good to see everyone, as always. Frankie Chu, good to see you as well. Red Hood Venom. Speaking of Venom, that will be the topic for today. We got some interesting Insomniac game updates. So that will be very interesting, I think. But yeah, apart from that, was kind of a slow week, although this week is going to be very exciting if you, like me, like Assassin's Creed Shadows, because, of course, tomorrow the DLC drops, Claws of Awaji, at, like, 22 hours from when I go live here. The new free quest appears, and with that free quest, we can get the bow staff in the game for everyone. So I will tomorrow go live, probably at, like, an hour after that quest goes live, and then I will do the bow staff mission, so you can see that, and then do some exploration on Awaji Island. That is my plan right now, but I kind of have to see what it will be. Of course, I don't want to like spoil anything regarding the DLC. I will likely also on JorRaptor do some content. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and then it's back to work on the Ghost of Yotei review, because that will be dropping September 25th. When I got the code, I was like, oh, I got all the time, but a lot has happened, and Claws of Awaji, of course, as well. So I kind of have to lock myself up and play Yotei. Oh no, that sucks. No, I'm very excited for that. Death by Headstroke, good to see you. Black Knight, new here. 5 hours explaining everything new and what's good for AC Shadows. Learned a lot from you, Thai brother. Well, appreciate you. Hound Desire 11. I'm just gonna say Desire 11, but appreciate you being here, and yeah, welcome. Billy, how am I doing? I'm doing well. That's been a pretty crazy time. Not everything that I can talk about, but yeah, it's good. Good time to be playing games, and I've been enjoying some family time this weekend. What else did I do? Or I ran. I had like a party on Saturday night. So lots going on. And I still notice that I'm kind of tired. But hey, that's part of it. It's worth it. I saw Dua Lipa last week, and next night I drove 3 hours both ways to pick up my daughter at college and to see 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin. So thinking I'm down with a flu cold. Oh, that's still sounds like a good time, Saber Knight. Dula Peep live. That's exciting. And Dying Light the Beast out this week too. Yeah, Kenny, that's true. But like I already said in the Sunday video, you gotta pick your battles, and I'm looking forward to Dying Light. I hope it reviews well, and I hope everyone who's playing it enjoys it. But yeah, I want to focus on the Ghost of Yotei review and the content, the spoiler-free tips and tricks we will do, of course, around release. So yeah, we got everything that you want. The Brazilian is asking, I think you're asking regarding Shadows, right? Do I get the DLC if I have the deluxe edition? No, only if you pre-ordered the game, so bought it before March 20th. That's when, or March 20th when it came out. That's when you get the DLC for free. Otherwise, it's $25. I'm not sure what you're saying, Gamer Nipple, but I do understand some of these words. Yes, totally good times, worth it, but definitely playing Shadows and Hell OS today to rest. I saw a news story today about Hell is Us, and I thought that was kind of interesting, so we can kind of throw that up. I'm not sure where I saw that. Hell is... Oh, here. And that's why I'm always kind of hammering on all these... I'm not sure why this is like... This is kind of crazy that I have all these stuff here, but... We're on Eurogamer. And that's why I'm always kind of hammering the Summer of Death and stuff like that. Well, here you are seeing the truth. Silk Song's surprise release was a little callous, says Helsa's creative director. I think I... What the heck? Why do I suddenly see this image? I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Helsa's creative director called the surprise release of a Silk Song a little callous, believing it had an impact on the game's on his game's sales. When you know you're that big, I think a shadow drop is a bit like, whoa. Basically saying, yo, dude, like, it's not nice to shadow drop your big game if you are Silk Song, because you will basically clear out of all the air out of the room. Like, you will not leave a lot of game time money left for other games. And yeah, Silk Song was dropping on the same day as Helsa, so I think there was like 1 day apart. As the GTA of indie, to shadow drop something like that is a little callous. Okay, we're gonna Google Translate it. Callous. Okay, I've never heard of that word. So, but this is how you pronounce it.
Callous.
Okay, now we know. 53 nights, thanks for noting. However, the real pain in the ass is that changing release dates... Oh, basically, they noted that they were like talking to Nacon saying, yo, should we change the release date? So, during Gamescom, of course, on the first day, the Silk Song release date was announced. And the hell is us, like, that was 2 weeks later. And to change a release date 2 weeks before launch, that's almost unheard of. But yeah, they were discussing it. However, it's a real pain in the ass. Changing the release date means refunding pre-orders. That's what they did with Assassin's Creed Shadows. When they delayed that game to February from November, they refunded everyone's pre-order. And while it wasn't a deciding factor, the team believed they could weather the storm. Still, they did think that the release impacted the launch of Hell is Us. I don't have any specific numbers, he said. At least not at this time, but for sure it did. That's the thing nowadays, honestly. Getting a window where you are pretty much alone is almost impossible. 15 years ago, the mid-end of summer was always a dead period. But there's no such thing anymore. It's just constant madness. And that's the real struggle right now with all these, like... Again, there were so many games launching in September, and still are to this day. Like, I think really a lot of companies also, okay, you're looking at the other games that are coming out, but, and I'm not saying that I'm of course that important, but I like Dying Light 2. We made a ton of videos on that game. Yeah, really like quite a lot of tips and tricks and stuff. We played that a lot. But I'm skipping Dying Light the Beast. I just don't have time to do all these open world games. Like, the whole summer, from June until, like, August, there was no open world game. And then you dropped 3 of them in September, very close to each other. So, Borderlands 4, Claws of Owaji, and Dying Light the Beast. That's just crazy. Hell is Us, you could argue, had some, like, open space as well. Hey, Ryder. Oh, okay, it means mean-spirited. Okay, makes sense. Learned another word today. Glad you enjoyed Dua Lipa. I'm a little jealous. Yeah, I get that too, Commander Jane Shepard. And then Saber Knight also went to check out some other artists. Hellas has been great. I'm enjoying it. Well, that's great, but again, like, people are playing Silk Song, and I do think Hell is Us, as of course being more of a... It looked more like a double A type game, less of an indie. It of course had a bigger publisher, Nacon, behind it. But still, it is kind of an interesting take. It's not for everyone, but it is for a certain audience. And I do think there's some overlap with the Silk Song audience. That people that don't like hand-holdy games, that want a real challenge. So yeah, I totally think it hurt it. It's mostly... Also that Hell is Us kind of came and went. It had its like demo and people were very excited when it was announced. And yeah, then it came out and there were like a ton of other games like Chronos, The New Dawn also came out that week. Ton of other things. So yeah, it's really hard to pick release dates these days. Which is kind of crazy. Normally, if you would be in January, you would know, okay, I have the month for myself. But yeah, right now, that's not the case anymore. Hey, Velar, good to see you as well. Slawomir, good to see you as always. Oversaturation is definitely a problem for small studios. How do you get your people's attention? Not everyone spends hours digging for hidden treasures like you do. Yeah, I mean that's of course it is like kind of nice for creators like me to be able to have that role and yeah to like put like a spotlight on games you would otherwise have missed. But then still, it's really about time and a lot of other entertainment as well. It's if you're watching a TV show or scrolling on TikTok, you're not playing a game either. So there are just really a lot of things going on, and then also having games with entry prices, so paid games. You really have to be invested. You really have to go through certain excitement levels to be able to to be willing to spend that money, when you can also go for something like Silksong, $20. Everyone is super hyped about it. If you like the first game, you're like, oh, I'm in. Yeah, that's a way easier pickup than Hell Is Us, a new IP where you might be on the fence. Curse Drasta, sub buddy, good morning. Good morning. It's afternoon here. Skata, good to see you as well there in the Twitch chat. Can you do a now a flip of a castle to start a Sunday video? That's a very specific question, Scarecrow, but I appreciate all the input. I don't think that will happen though, but maybe tomorrow during the stream, because I will be streaming the bow staff mission and do some other DLC spoiler-free content too during the stream tomorrow. So that will be awesome. It will be a little like around this time tomorrow. It's when we go live. Sense of Time remake and State of Play or Game Awards, Raiden Stark says. So for people who don't know, this Sense of Time remake from Ubisoft seemingly is going to launch before April. So yeah, at one point they should like re-reveal it, because right now every time I talk about it, I have to show that old trailer from the remake that they're not doing anymore, because of course that did not look very good. I could see it during the State of Play. I think next week around this time we will still not have heard about it, but I do think it will be, or maybe it will be announced during next week's stream, like during next week's Monday stream. I think it's possible actually, because I do think it might be on Tuesday. Maybe they announce it at the end of this week, but we will see. I will of course keep you posted here, but no, I can see it happen, because like Ubisoft has to kind of at one point start talking about what other games they have, and they like I think it's not time for the Black Flag remake just yet. So Prince of Persia, I think, makes sense, and I have high hopes for that remake. I'm watching on both. Wow. I mean, why not? I do think Twitch is a bit earlier, so you might live in the future on Twitch. So Lonely Fates, you think we will see the State of Play or Showcase next week? I think I already answered that. Hey, Vasi, good to see you as well. The chaos today is easy for me. I'm a player since 1982 with Pong. That's crazy. That's a weird flex, but that's crazy. Pre-order Ghost of Yotei and took a whole week for it. Can't wait. That's insane, Mohammed Riot. That's like the perfect game, I think, to... not from what I've played, but from all the State of Plays and stuff we saw. Because they are, of course, way more focusing on the exploration. So just having the whole week, taking your time. I think overall taking your time with that game will be very nice. We will see, of course, how it shakes out when the reviews hit. Who won the giveaway? That's a good question. I'm gonna... I should probably announce that very soon and reach out to the winner. Let me see... And of course, then you're talking about the giveaway for the Curse of, or Claws of Awaji DLC for Shadows. I'm gonna do that after the stream. Hey, Hidden One, good to see you. It was very nice meeting you in Bordeaux at Ubisoft. Enjoy Ghost of Yotei. I'll be looking forward to the content you make on it. Yeah, I will be looking forward to your content as well. And we're, as you know, have the game and we're working on... content. So on the 25th will be the review, and then afterwards, of course, the spoiler-free tips and tricks, update videos, and all that good stuff. I cannot wait. Jet Laner, good to see you as always as well. Thanks for joining. ABR, who's hyped for Claws of Watch tomorrow? I thought it would be meh, but hopefully that changes when playing it. I thought I would be, but meh. I mean, I think that's the best approach, right? Going in with low expectations and then hopefully be surprised. Hidden One and I played the game at Ubisoft Bordeaux and played the first 2 hours, then did some bow staffing. We both have a video on it. You can check my preview. I think the one from the Hidden One is also spoiler free from what I saw. So yeah, that like I think what they showed there looked exciting. And I will of course have more videos up this week and stream the bow staff mission tomorrow. Hey Severus, good to see you as well. Curse of the Pharaohs. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta shout that DLC out. What an amazing DLC that was. I need to get to level 80 before the DLC hits. You don't have to, the Brazilian. You don't have to. What's Claws of Awaji? 53 Nights is the first expansion for Shadows. Free if you pre-ordered the game. But no, you don't need to go to level 80. Like, that's not needed at all. And of course, you will earn XP during the DLC as well. So, no. I would say go, like, the level... with them going or raising the level cap again to 100, I'm like, okay, I'm no rush anymore. I first was like, okay, 80 from 60 to 80 seems achievable. I'm almost 80 right now. But them raising the level cap again, I'm like, okay, so when I reach 100, they're gonna raise it again. Like, what's the plan here, right? So no, I'm in no rush to go to level 100, and I don't think you need to be a particular level. With everything scaling, anyways. You don't need to be high level. Leveling is actually, with like mastery points being earnable through other ways, leveling actually does not really matter a lot in this game. Yeah, you only, like, I think reaching the max level is nice because then all the gear, yeah, drops on the max level. You don't have to upgrade it anymore. But now that the max level is very high or like takes a lot of time to achieve, I'm in no rush to do, yeah, to reach that. Have you seen the new Helix pack? Apparently it was leaked. Yeah, I've seen it, and I have played with it already, but we will have more on that soon. I was thinking it was another black type game. Oh, no. I mean, no, it's... I get why. Although, Claws of Waji is, of course, Japanese, and all these Black Myth type games are more Chinese. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. How's he hears if he's hidden and he's won? Well, yeah. Good question. Those are the real questions. Curse, Drasta, the new level cap is 80. Feels like an age since I've played Shadows. Well, I'll do you one better. It's 100 now. So in 1 month, they raised the cap from 60 to 80, from 80 to 100. No, that's crazy. I'm doing well. I just finished editing for tomorrow's video. How about you, Commander? That nice, Kat. Good to hear. Saw you were doing the reset, of course, as well. That's great. Will you have an interview with the devs soon? We've reached the end of the post-launch they shared. That's a good question, Joseph. I'm gonna reach out to Ubisoft. Hopefully, I can get Simon on for a stream so we can talk about what's next. I think that would be very exciting. I already learned there will be an update in October. That's what the developers Claws of Awaji shared with me. So an update in October that will also include fixes for Claws of Awaji. But what else that update brings? All we know is that there will be a crossover, at least one more crossover, and that is seemingly with Attack on Titan. So maybe that is what we will get in October. We will see. Raiden, Ubisoft Pune worked on the old Sense of Time remake, and they are again working on the new Sense of Time remake alongside... I think Montreal is, like, working on that, like, as the main team, and maybe Pune is, like, helping them. Pune was always a support studio, but, yeah, they got the reins to work on the Prince of Persia Sense of Time remake as, like, now you can prove yourself. So they were very excited. I interviewed those developers. They were so passionate. But, of course, that trailer, people were like... Is this a remake? This looks really bad. So then they were, yeah, taking off the project. I think it's good because, like, that was the first... If they put that out, it would have been the first Ubisoft remake. And if that was the standard, then when the Black Flag remake would be announced or anything else, you think, oh, but the Ubisoft remake feels more like a remaster, so I'm not excited. So I think it's good on them for, taking the extra time. That Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, I think, was supposed to be to launch in 2021, and they're now launching it 5 years later. That's crazy. That's crazy. East Blue Drew, what up? You're, well, doing well. How are you? Thanks for joining again. Bully, why is Ubisoft not releasing a DLC trailer like previous AC games? Well, usually they launch a DLC trailer the day the DLC is out. So, yeah, that can still happen tomorrow, of course. Why 60 was fine? Well, of course, they want you to keep playing. You have to really do a lot of New Game Plus runs to get to 100. Yeah, so two runs is you can get to 100, but it takes a long time. I think doing New Game Plus again and just focusing on the story and the targets is the way to go. William is saying, what do you think will be the big reveal at the State of Play? I think that it's Wolverine, and that's coming in 2026. I think there will be a Battlefield 6 thing happening at that State of Play. Some Ghost of Yote stuff, of course. Yeah, but like, will there be other big reveals? Probably. Maybe some more early 2026 release dates. I think that might happen. And, I'm still waiting for that Horizon Online game, but we might never see that. The DLC looks good so far. I love that they actually have Team Quest. Yeah, that is a lot of fun. Would be hard to imagine if there's no second DLC. I think there will be, Kenny, but they have not confirmed it. But I think it will be in 2026. Is Phantom Blade Zero coming out this year too? I got the shirt from Gamescom. No, we will have the release date this year. I'm thinking like spring or fall 2026 is when I think it. They announced a new State of Play, Joseph. Not yet, but it has been heavily rumored. So, and they always do a State of Play in September. So it's probably going to happen. I'm very excited for it. Let's see. Let's talk about... I want to do my first... We got a bomb. Same Horizon, still waiting. Second DLC was originally part of the Deluxe Edition. Yeah, Ultimate Edition. I know Skata, so I totally think it's gonna happen. But it will probably be some time. Radio silence from Sucker Punch the last week. No, or did I miss something? The Little Sumo. I think they posted the sort of environment shots from Yote. That's what they did. But they might drop another weapon trailer. I don't think they've like showcased every new weapon yet, right? Your Bings, how are you today? I'm excited for some of the content that we have coming this week. Was supposed to come to France for the original release preview, but it got cancelled. For which game? Skata. I hope to meet you all on site event. Fingers crossed that I get invited. Oh, the second DLC. Okay, let's do our first topic here. It's actually the only topic, but are you hyped for Yote? Yes, Cox, man, I'm very excited. Because we got some new rumors after we went, actually after the Sunday video posted or like around it. Your blink once if you've seen the Horizon multiplayer game. Even if I would have seen it, I would be just blinking on. But no, I've not seen it. I'm currently playing Neo 2, but are you waiting for Neo 3 coming out or not your kind of game? El Kashi, I get a ton of questions, of course. So, we'll try to get to everyone. But no, Nioh 2 is not my type of game. But I'm happy that it's there for people, and I do get like the amount of abilities and stuff is very exciting, and some of the elements where taking over enemies right and then using them against targets, if I remember correctly, that's exciting. But yeah, cool that Nioh 3 is coming. And yeah, I mean, it's the Rise of the Ronin developer as well, right? I did not really like Rise of the Ronin either, so I don't think they're really my type of studio. And Curse, yeah, I am very excited for the Avatar 3 third-person mode. We'll totally be streaming that in December. That's the plan, at least. Do you know why Class of Wawaji is in the UI but does nothing? Is there early access? Bewilder Beast, yeah, I think they, yeah, they're just prepared. Like some of the DLC content is in the update, so yeah, they're just showcasing that. But obviously, you have to wait. They're gonna flip the switch tomorrow. They have like a roadmap on the channel or on the Twitter page. Yeah, Joseph, Dying Light the Beast also coming September 18th. They're launching it one day early. KSGO is the new Helix Pack Bleach. Yeah, I will be able to show it tomorrow. The marketing for Yote is strange and light compared to the other Sony games. Sony game marketing has always been weird. They're really waiting. Like for Death Stranding 2, they were waiting as well, very last minute. So I really think that they're gonna, like next week, they will probably do the state of play. They will have some Yote stuff there. Then on Thursday they have the reviews go live. Then they go crazy with a ton of trailers. To be fair, I think it's like right now marketing games is you want to market games right now when they are close to being out or when people can basically run out and buy them. So I totally think that they're just waiting and yeah. We'll be shouting it from the rooftops. We'll go crazy, probably also with real life advertisements, outdoor stuff. But yeah, only when the game is out. So then people can actually play it and buy it. Hey, Galactus 2.0. Good to see you. When will be the review of Class of Wawaji? It will be, yeah, I will, of course, tell you how I feel when I can. Trying to figure out when the new Ghost Recon will be announced. Well, the Ghost Recon seems to be maybe the first of Hexay, Far Cry 7, and Hexay, Far Cry 7, and Ghost Recon. So I think it's gonna be next year, maybe April or May. I'm not sure if they talked about Razer. I'm not sure if they. Excuse me. I'm not sure if they talked about the PS5 Pro announcements yet for Yote. Oh, that's crazy. Moment that they already started some marketing cars in your region, in the Middle East. If they're really working on Horizon Online, they definitely have to get it perfect. If we want the Monster Hunter crowd, they need to be more like World than Wilds. Yeah. You would think that they actually got like an open opportunity to do something crazy now that Wilds is, yeah, not like people, yeah, were not that excited about it. Or actually they were at launch, but obviously PC performance and yeah, the difficulty, it was kind of an easy game. They wanted to tailor more to newcomers, and yeah, then you lose the hardcore people if you don't balance it well. Okay, let's talk about Wolverine and Venom. Because yes, it's still going. Great news! It seems like the Venom game is still in development and Wolverine is coming. Really, it's really coming. We go over to Insider Gaming. They got the report from Multiplayer First. They got sources, but I wanted to go over here. It seems that Marvel Wolverine is targeting a 2026 release window. Of course, also here on the channel, I already covered the rumor that it will show up at the State of Play. Basically, a trailer for the game. Finally, after 5 years, or 4 years, it was like 2021, right? September 2021, when Wolverine was announced. Yeah, we get a new trailer, and maybe by the time you watch this, probably they will wait a bit, but just before Tokyo Game Show, Sony is seemingly doing a State of Play like they do every year, and at the end of every State of Play, they have a big PlayStation Studio reveal or announcement, and it seems like Wolverine is gonna take that spot this time, or they might save the trailer for Game Awards. At least, we will likely see the game this year. Yote last year was also revealed during the September State of Play and then launched also a year later. So I'm putting my money on Wolverine being at the State of Play, and I'm very excited for that. But there is more. Marvel's Venom development status and story details reportedly revealed. I don't want to go over the story details because that's kind of spoilery. So I'm just going to talk about the game and what we kind of know from it. Okay, the same source that provided information on Marvel's Wolverine stated that Venom's development is ongoing. No information was revealed about the latter's release window or development project. But basically, it's still coming. And that is interesting because we had kind of multiple things regarding it. So here, they also have like a different source providing story details, but they were not able to confirm it. So again, don't want to go over them. Also, that could just be guesswork. The actual source that they really trust, that's why they're reporting on this news, only confirmed Wolverine 2026 right now. Venom is still happening. And why that is interesting, let me see. I'm gonna real quick think of I think I have it somewhere here, but I deleted it, but I think it might actually be nice to have it. Let's see. So basically, we of course had a big Insomniac hack and leak in 2023, and then this was the roadmap that was kind of revealed. Venom for 2025, Wolverine 2026, Marvel Spider-Man 3 2028, a new Ratchet & Clank in 2029, and then X-Men would be their next big Marvel project. Now, it does seem that many things have changed. As part of the leak, was also, and we actually have voice lines for that, if we go from the Reddit leaks to this Reddit, there was supposed to be a Beetle boss in Spider-Man 2. We actually saw in the game files at one point there was an update, maybe you remember this, and then they added some dev menus to the game, and they could also go to side stories or something like that, and they also saw a Beetle boss fight, and then could see the whole quest. They basically wanted to, instead of doing the DLCs like The City Never Sleeps for the first Spider-Man, they wanted to do free content drops for Spider-Man 2. One being focused on the Beetle, the second being focused on Carnage, and one being focused on the Spider-Verse. But then at one point Insomniac was like, that's not gonna happen anymore. We're not gonna do DLC. That's when they announced the PC version. They basically said no DLC. So then we were wondering, okay, what else from this lineup is still real, right? What else can we expect then? Well, it seems that Wolverine is still on track for 2026, but Venom 2025. And that is actually not really that crazy, because there was also, as part of the leak, if we once again go over here to this Reddit, there was at one point this slide where we also see Venom here in 2027, and then so basically after Wolverine as well, and then Spider-Man 3. And that seems to be the current plan. So when we got like all this information from this leak, the timeline was kind of off. And obviously, again, the Spider-Man 2 DLC got cancelled after we learned about it. Of course, we were never supposed to learn about it, but yeah, it got cancelled. Many things have moved around, but I think it's cool to know that we still are getting a Miles Morales type game, but for Venom. What we also learned is that only 10% of Venom's dialogue or recorded dialogue was in Spider-Man 2. So they seemingly have a lot that they were already thinking of. Like, one of the things, I'm like sometimes like lucky enough to go to a game development studio or something like that and get to interview the developers. And one of the big things you learn is that things are already planned way in advance. So sometimes when a developer is like, when they are about to launch a game, and someone interviews them and asks, "So, what are you guys gonna do next?" Or, "Yeah, are you guys thinking about doing this game next?" They're always like, "Oh, we're not thinking about that right now. We're finishing up this one first." Oh no, they already had meetings a half a year before the game was out to know, of course, what they're going to do. Like at one point you have concept artists or something like that are just, they're not gonna sit around and wait until you launch the game before they move to the next project. No, they have to be on the next thing before the other thing is out. So I really think that they always had the idea to do a Venom game, but yeah, the timeline is interesting. It seems to be that they might repeat what they did with Miles Morales, because as you might know, PlayStation 6 rumored for late 2027, and I think it's kind of crazy as well, but what we learned about the PlayStation 6 is basically that Sony has found a way to make the console like cheaper for them to make, still more powerful, and they're also looking for a way to get more people from the PlayStation 4 onto the next generation, because the PS4 is holding a lot of games back. Call of Duty, like FIFA, all those games, and a lot of live service games, many games like Genshin Impact, they're finally dropping PS4 support next year. Crazy to think about that they all this time were still supporting this 2013 console. So it really seems that I think like developers are asking Sony, yo, find a way to get those people to upgrade so we can make content and don't have to worry about the very slow hard drive, but can have everyone playing on console on this fast SSD, for example. And that seems to be why I think a late 2027. I mean, for one, every generation has lasted 7 years, or like that's the longest we had. And I think that even if the PlayStation 6 comes, the PS5 will be supported, I think longer even than the PS4, because it seems that Sony also has a PlayStation 6 handheld that will be more like focused on the PS5 hardware. Still probably be able to run the PlayStation 6 games, but at like very low settings, 30 FPS, etc. But yeah, I do think PS5 and PS5 Pro will be supported for a long time, even with the PS6 release. But the PS6, it seems that when the PlayStation 6 is out, Sony has no reason to make a PS5 anymore, because the PS5 might be, like, it's still crazy that system is $50 more expensive, €50 more expensive than at launch. Then you also calculate inflation, like the PS5 at launch was way cheaper than it is now. So if Sony can release, like they seemingly are also making a way easier form factor, so they can fit probably way more boxes into a into a ship or whatever, how they use it, or whatever they use to get it to as many stores as possible. So if Sony can make a better hardware, of course the technology has advanced, they can make it cheaper, like use maybe like things that are cheaper to manufacture, and also make a design that is way easier to ship, it's lighter weight, etc. It's in their best interest to phase the PS5 out. Okay, the PS6 is now what's there. Don't worry, we're still supporting the PS5 as well with a lot of games. You just cannot buy one anymore. And then I think Venom, like that, Miles Morales was a huge launch game for them. Having Venom, I mean, it's totally going to be on PS5 then as well, but having it also on PS6, I think makes sense. And I also think Miles Morales was a 1.5 game. Like, you felt it from by playing it. But because it had the bells and whistles from PS5, it had the DualSense features, it had like the better graphics and stuff, it still kind of felt like more than it actually was. So maybe with Venom, they're looking at that as well. They're like, okay, it's gonna be Spider-Man 2.5, but we have some PS6 bells and whistles, I don't know, AI upscaling or whatever they're gonna do. And that's why it will still feel more like a new game. And then after that, of course, go into Spider-Man 3, which will hopefully be a PS6 exclusive, but that will then be coming way later. So we actually had some information about Venom as well, titled Venom Lethal Protector. Again, these things can totally change. This was from the leak like a long time ago, Miles and Peter will also be playable alongside Venom. Its story will continue after Spider-Man 2, will lead into Spider-Man 3. Carnage is the main villain, set for 2025. Again, that was the rumor, but 2027 was also found in sheets, so it's also still possible. And a $50 price tag, although maybe it's going to be $60 now if they're going to raise the price again. But I think that's exciting. Like, for me, Spider-Man 2, my biggest critique for that game was, next to the kind of rushed Venom arc near the end, I did not like some of the choices they made. Another part was, I don't want side content that is not finished. They were, like, Carnage, I really thought that they were building up to it. It was so awesome, and then, like you were calling, and then it was said, yeah, oh no, we have to like do some research, might take a year or something. I'm like, what? Okay, we're not gonna finish this side story, and yeah, that game came out in 2022, or right, or 2023 is when that game came out. So then we will finally finish that side story with Carnage 5 years later or 4 years later. That's crazy to me. So yeah, I hope they with Venom, like, make sure that all the loose ends are covered, and then Spider-Man 3 we start fresh. Of course, have one tease or something, kind of like Spider-Man 1. I thought the Spider-Man 1 tease for Miles Morales was awesome, but not something where I was like, oh, feel like this should have ended in this game instead of having to wait for the next one. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I think it's exciting that Venom is still happening, because I think they need to take all the time in the world to make Spider-Man 3 as big as, like, I thought Spider-Man 2 was still really, really great, but it also, yeah, I do think Spider-Man 1 had more of the special sauce, if that makes sense. And I really hope that they go all out with Spider-Man 3. And that's probably the final game they're going to do, at least for the foreseeable future. The final Spider-Man game they will do, after which they're seemingly moving to X-Men. So we will see. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, it seems like Insomniac will end this PS5 generation with a bang, with Wolverine next year, and then Spider-Man or Venom in 2027. And then, if I had to guess, Spider-Man 3, 2029, 2030. I think that makes sense. And take the time, make it as good as possible, and I'll be there. Let me know what you think, of course, in the comments down below, and subscribe for more reactions like this. I was expecting more missions with Peter and Miles going on missions together with no Mary Jane on the motorcycle. I think the Venom game will probably not have Mary Jane on the motorcycle. Melissa, honestly hate this whole timeline. What do you mean? Might be, the PS5 timeline. See some new people join. Thanks as always for joining. I just finished the recording. We got anything on the AC4 Black Flag remake Monster Predator? Good to see you as well. No. When we learn more, I will of course let you know. Spider-Man 2 is in the top 20 PlayStation best-selling games of all time. Yeah, it's a big game. But Spider-Man 1 is like the #1 best-selling game of all time for PlayStation. So I hope Spider-Man 2 is like higher than top 20. Bewildered Beast, well, Klaus Wadji, it's very soon. Yeah, RT Grub, I'm very excited. We'll stream tomorrow, like I already said. But for people who are joining later, we'll be streaming tomorrow the Bow Staff mission, the free mission, and then do some Klaus Wadji stuff as well. But of course, overall, no story spoilers whatsoever. Melissa, you're on a scale of 1 to 10. How hyped should we be for the Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC? I'm always saying temper your expectations, because that's way better. Like I learned, I thought one like formula was really great. Like happiness, maybe we should not say happiness, but like excitement or fulfillment is events minus expectations. Like the moment you remove your expectations from the real events, you can much better enjoy what it actually is. So there are some things that you just cannot control. Those are the events that happen. and yeah, you make something in your head, so then yeah, you unrealistically maybe raise the expectations, while yeah, just look at what they are trying to do. Okay, so we of course played it at Ubisoft Bordeaux. I got to play the first 2 hours. They did some very interesting things with the dual protagonist system. The bow staff is really, really fun. So I would argue going in with like a 7, I think you will then leave on a higher note. But of course, I still have to finish the DLC and everything. But yeah, I will never lower my expectations. Well, that's on you, Skata, then, of course. But yeah, I think 7, Melissa, is the right go. I still don't understand the reason behind the Venom game. I would rather have Spider-Man 3 and finish the overall story. I get it, Vivek, but you have to remember that Spider-Man 3 will take way more time. And a Venom game, being a smaller game, they could use a lot, like, they can get away with it being more of a 2.5. While I think for Spider-Man 3, they really want to, okay, let's go crazy, let's do this, and this, right? And that will take more time. So it's either, okay, we get Spider-Man 3 1 year earlier, or we get a Venom game in between, have some fun there, and then they have all the time in the world to to focus on Spider-Man 3 and probably make that a PlayStation 6 exclusive as well. If Spider-Man 3 would be like, if there was no Venom game and Spider-Man 3 would be earlier, I don't think they can utilize all the bells and whistles of the PS6. And I think the PS5 features, what Spider-Man did with PS5, was one of the most exciting parts about that game, right? It really felt for the first time, okay, we're not launching on PS4. Still crazy that 3 years after the PS5 launch, that is when we got the first, I mean, not the first, but like the real big AAA, quadruple A, all hands on deck PS5 exclusive with Spider-Man 2. And yeah, I'm just... I think like having Spider-Man 3 also being able to be PS6 exclusive, I think would be more exciting, and then having Venom in between. And Venom, I mean, they could go a bit crazier. They could try some new things that in Spider-Man 3 would not really work, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, have us play more with Venom. Like, I think this Venom game can provide basically gameplay elements that we will not see in the in Spider-Man 3. Master Predator, which quarter of 2026 is the Lego Batman game coming? I don't think that was announced yet though, but like, why announce it? Why announce at Gamescom? Why have it playable at Gamescom? Because you are launching before next year's Gamescom. So I think it's gonna be either early or April. I think April at the latest, because of course GTA. I didn't have much expectation for Star Wars Outlaws, downloaded the demo and enjoyed it. May buy the gold edition. I mean, it's pretty cheap right now, right? So if you enjoyed the demo, you will probably love the full game. Spider-Man 2 is the reason why I'm skeptical about Yote being similar to that in terms of... Yeah, I totally get that, Vivek. I totally get it. Not only did I like Star Wars Outlaws, but I even liked Saints Row 2022. I just don't buy into neither online hype or online hate. More power to you. I thought Saints Row 2022, man, that story was not great, but they had some cool ideas. Like, I still think the customization in that game was crazy for your character. PS5 has been slow moving on releases. Like, they really have to do something special for people to put money on the PS6. Yeah, I think what I think they might do is Blue Drew is for the PS6 be like, yo, we are still going to support the PS5. You always have the people that are also buying a PS5 Pro that will be there day one, and they seemingly have a handheld, so a new way to play games that was not possible on the PS5 generation, and then they have seemingly a slim model, so basically a lower cost entry point for people from the PS4 to skip the PS5 and immediately be on PS6 with a console like that. It's gonna be very fascinating what they will do, but yeah, it seems like Sony is taking a kind of different approach with the PS6, and I would not be surprised if they are like fine if you just stay playing on PS5, as long as you're not playing on PS4. That seems to be the gist of it. Say like, good night all. Hey, thanks for joining and see you later. Did you survive the summer of death? Well, yeah, barely hanging on. No, but yeah, no, I had a great summer. But I'm happy finally, from now on, I will be home 5 days a week. I had some really fun things, but I'm excited to pick up the regular day-to-day. Of course, Klazowachi and then Yote in terms of gaming stuff. And after that, I'm excited to kind of wind down, look around, what else is there. And but we actually talked, Melissa, of course, the Summer of Death was more a reference to all the gaming releases coming out. And yeah, the Hell Is Us, we talked about an earlier article about from the Hell Is Us developer basically being like semi-angry at Silksong doing a shadow drop for their big game, because that was the same day as Hell Is Us, and that totally impacted their sales. So that was like the crazy part. The Summer of Death was already crazy, and then Silksong did an extra step to all the other games coming out, which is crazy. Monster Predator, what do you think of VTMB2 so far? I'm not getting that reference. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I want to keep an open mind. I hope the game delivers. I think the setting is very cool, at least. So I want to keep an open mind. I might stream it. I watched a showcase from 2020, and that to me was still the best one this generation. And the crazy part is that was not even during this generation. But yeah, I mean, even if you're like, I don't want the PlayStation 6, we will at least get a showcase again in 2027, likely to announce the platform to have some games. So, hey, that's the silver lining here. If you're like, oh, I can't, the PS6, they should not do it. I'm still on PS5, blah blah blah. There's gonna be a showcase likely to promote that system. East Blue Drew. No, I've never been to a Tokyo Game Show. I've actually never been to Tokyo. I've been to Japan twice, but. Doofenshmitch Evil, good to see you as always. Hell Is Us should have moved. In that article, they actually note, yeah, Hell Is Us, we wanted to move it. But then they had to refund pre-orders. Where are you going to move it to? But I agree. Yeah, it would have maybe helped them. But right now, I saw some reviews, and the Chronos, the New Dawn launched, and yeah, it was mostly Silksong. Pine ID saying, it's worrisome we haven't had a dark horror anthology game in like 3 years with Directive 8020 delayed to next year. I mean, isn't that good? Because I think those games came out way too fast and they likely saw the sales go down and down and down. So if they have something interesting, I think the Directive 8020 looks very cool conceptually. So if they can make that better, because that's of course what was the case. These are like supermassive games made Until Dawn. Until Dawn was amazing. They got all the time in the world for that. Or like, yeah, more time, more budget. And then they made these dark anthology games that just were not on the same level. So if they can give this game more time, it launches and it actually is more on the level of an Until Dawn, it might spread and might actually help them more. So I think, yeah, it was getting stale, but I love them. Then, yeah, be patient. It will probably be for the best. Paradox asking, what are those headphones? They are, damn, what's the brand again? I think they went under, though. I'm like holding on still. But one thing I love about these is there's like a volume button over here, so I can like quickly switch it up and yeah, hear things louder without having to do something on the computer. So that's nice. I think there are actually also Twitch drops tomorrow for yeah, for Assassin's Creed Shadows. So you might want to watch on Twitch. Will you be playing Ninja 4 on launch? Master Predator? Sadly not. I don't think so. Yeah, it's a gaming brand from Sennheiser, right? I think it was like Sennheiser. They use some of the Sennheiser tools, but it is actually. Do I have the box right here? I'm not sure. I have many boxes here, but not the one that I need. It's EPOS is the name, but I'm not sure if they're still around. I'm hyped for it actually. I like that the dev is returning to the old pre-orders and doing the right thing. Melissa, which game are you now talking about? Ooh, was that like Silk Song? Next year would have killed them to be with GTA and Crimson Desert and Soulframe. We will see. Basically, what another like interesting thing. Speaking of Crimson Desert. Bleep. I saw this. Seems like the page went up for Crimson Desert. The Korean Steam page with pre-order bonuses. And usually that happens when they have a release date, because that's when you can pre-order. So I hope they finally have it. That would be exciting. I still have a Gamescom video to make on that game, but yeah, a lot of other types. Oh, the vampire game. Oh, Melissa, yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, good on them for, of course, yeah, because they did the deluxe edition with like classes behind that, right? Locking that behind the paid DLC, that was not good. Sweetie on the Sweetie Tie on the Twitch shops. Yeah, it should be like a katana, but I'm not sure if it's like a good katana or anything. Lots of AA games have underperformed, even though they were good. They didn't have a Silk Song level competition, so maybe Hellsas would have had a hard time would still have had a hard time. Yeah, that's right. I think like with these AA games being Motorhead, it's really about the expectations they have for the game. Because Chronos the New Dawn, they actually celebrated the amount of sales they had. Even though I felt like that launch was kind of muted too. I think they had 500,000 sales. But that was like a pretty cheap game. Of course, a Polish studio. It's very cheap to make games there. So, yeah. I think for AA games, you just have to have the right expectation. But I talked to some people from Nacon. I actually saw them at Gamescom. And they were very, very optimistic about Hellsas. And I do think it kind of... Looking at the state of play and like those reveals and those numbers they did for a game from their publisher, they were probably like, oh, this might be pretty big. And then, yeah, it came out and people, yeah, kind of, they did not show up. I think that's kind of the thing. And yeah, I think Silksong totally was part of that. Don't know, but usually Twitch item ain't anything game changing. Skata, I would argue though, there's like one outfit for Naue, the sort of Red Bull colored assassin outfit with like the handband, and she also has that outfit with like the shoulder pad. That's like that was a Twitch drop, I think. That's still very, very exclusive. So I hope they add that later. I think a bow staff as a drop would have been a better fit. I don't think so, Skata, because like the quest that we're going to do probably introduces some of the mechanics to the bow staff. So if you're watching a Twitch stream, get a bow staff, you're like, okay, what is this? What is this weapon? And then you get like a new weapon type. I think that's a bit too much. Maybe in the future, but for now, yeah, people should just do the mission. And the mission is exclusive for people who finish the game. So a Twitch drop for the bow staff would not have made sense. The OG Sense of Time had no boss fight. Will they add new boss? We don't know, Raiden. We don't know. Yor, do you think GTA 6 will be delayed again? There are talks about another delay from Tom Anderson. Yeah, Alex, I've said it for the longest time. I think GTA 6 in October. Another big reason for that is online. Okay, so GTA 6 is going to come out May 26th, right? They're going to launch the online a month later, really in June. June is like the worst time you could launch a game because everyone is on holiday break, etc., etc. So unless they have like the online planned for the end of the year or 6 months later, I don't think that's what they're going to do. So I really think October makes more sense. Then during the Christmas season, you have online drop, and usually during Christmas right now, a lot of people get PlayStation Store cards or Xbox Store cards or something, and yeah, for digital currency. And then if you have GTA Online drop and have like a store and shark cards and all that sort of stuff, people are spending that currency. So I think it always made more sense for GTA to go in October. I think that will be worse for gaming for other publishers because like Ubisoft in particular has big games planned for next year. I think Hexe will probably still come out. The Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot actually said that GTA sometimes helps games too. Like if GTA 6 comes out and people are buying the console because they want to play it, they might be like, oh, there's also a new Assassin's Creed, Hexay, I'm gonna pick that up as well. So we will see. Penny, when is the Dying Light review? I don't know. I'm not playing it. What happened to AC Jade? I don't know. I think they might wait for it because after, like, at the end of this year, Tencent owns like 22% or 25% of the Assassin's Creed franchise, Far Cry and Rainbow Six. So that is maybe when they have a bigger incentive to start pushing the Jade game again. My theory also with Jade is that they might go for characters instead of weapons. So we of course have Destiny Rising now. People are loving it. But yeah, that game, you get characters, right? You get basically the classes, they made them into characters. What Jade wanted to do was have abilities linked to weapons. So I don't think you could get legendary weapons in the game. Maybe you could, but you were basically rolling for a legendary sword or a legendary spear, and that weapon would then have unique abilities exclusive to that weapon that you can then do in the game. But I'm not sure if people wanna like roll and wanna, yeah, basically, because of course it's a gacha game, so you have to pay money sometimes to roll. I'm not sure if they wanna roll for weapons or for armor sets. I think they're way more likely to roll for Cassandra or Ezio. So I think they might went back to the drawing board on that and be like, okay, is it really worth it for us to go crazy like that? Take-Two has their next meeting scheduled for September 18th, where apparently the release date will be discussed. The annual shareholder meeting. Oh, yeah. But they will, of course, like, I think September, like, right now it's still too early for them to announce a delay, because anything can happen. But I do think in February they likely have their other financial report. That is, I think, when the final time they can talk about it. But with GTA always being in their next financial year, like it was never going to be before April, them moving from May to October does not matter for their financial year at all. So that's another reason why a delay makes a lot of sense. If they find one way to make it better, they're going to put that extra time in. There are so many eyes on that game. If it under-delivers, that's like a huge missed opportunity. So if you can then delay the game. I'm not expecting it in May. I thought it was always an interesting release date. And every Rockstar game gets delayed a couple of times. It's just how it goes. But yeah, next gen version for Red Dead 2, you would hope that is then in the cards for the timing before that, right? Yeah, Penny, I think so too. Pull for your AC Brotherhood could be the game title. Yeah. Bro is skipping both Dying Light the Beast and Ninja Gaiden 4. Well, Monster Predator, it's good that people have different opinions. And I have Yotei right now, so I would rather play Yotei than Dying Light the Beast, if I'm honest with you. And I have a review to make, and of course, if you finish a game, then you have not done everything in the game yet. For the review, I want to have played as much as possible. Then I have to write the script, make the editing, and it's a lot of work. And then you also have Claws of Waji, like I've not put in the time for Yotei right now that I want to. So yeah, I have to make choices. I will probably still play Dying Light later, but yeah. Sadly, I cannot clone myself. So yeah, that hopefully answers your question as well for why I'm not playing Dying Light the Beast. I've hit level 80. Hey, Dark Haida, good to see you. I have level 85 in Ace Shadows and gotten 3 additional achievements from the New Game Plus. I'm now grinding to level 100 after playing through Claws of Waji is gonna require probably a second New Game Plus. Yeah, the big merc. I think a second and maybe a third. I think the best way to level up if you really want to reach 100 fast is just doing New Game Plus and then only doing the story and the targets, and then after doing that, do a third run and then story and targets, and then you should reach 100 faster than clearing the castles or doing other stuff. Hey Samaya, good to see you. No tank top, I dislike the stream. Oh no. Oh no, you gotta, like, every day, every time a tank top. To be fair, it's getting a little colder here in the Netherlands, so the tank top season might be over or RIP. Did you enjoy spending the grind of spending hundreds of hours for AC games? Yeah, Cancer. Otherwise, I would not do it. But of course, like as always with these games, yeah, like it's good to check out other games. But actually, for Shadows, I've been playing a lot since the New Game Plus update and have enjoyed every moment of it. Actually, I'm not, and that's kind of crazy, but I've not like been burned out or anything. I can't wait for Onimusha Wave the Sword Saber Knight. Me too. Content creation takes a lot of time. Unfortunately, like Skata knows that as no other, of course. R6 Rider, can I play Yote for you? No. I want to play it myself. No, I didn't mean like that. Just thought you didn't like these gameplays. Oh no, Monster Predator, I totally like that. But you putting like a skull icon next to it like gave me the wrong impression. But no, I will probably still play Dying Light the Beast. Like I'm excited for it. But yeah, the release date is just very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Free Roam Podcast. I might shoot a message to Luke. I'm gonna do it right now, live here. I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I'm not sure what his plan is. Okay, I'm asking for the usual time on Wednesday. Yeah, the Big Merc Castle replay option would be nice, but New Game Plus helps for that in the meantime. Like in a New Game Plus playthrough, it's a long time to do all the castles. What I want to see is a Samurai Daisho icon. So, okay, I need one more Samurai Daisho. Where is that character? I go and find it. Okay, Monster Predator. Yeah, I think the skull emoji is like an interesting one. I always use it to be like, I can't believe it, or something like that, or like, what the heck? That's how I use it, but I know the skull icon is for some people that you laugh a lot and then you die or something, so it's like an LOL XX stream. But, Luke's response, gotta go do theater things. Okay, I'm really curious what that's about. Please don't forget Dying Light has changed the release date twice. It's so hard to cover this game. I mean, it's now 1 day earlier. Do you play indie games, Paradox? Actually, yes, but not as much. But I want to play more. I have like an ROG Ally, so I played like Hades 2, for example. Really, really liking that game. But yeah, I want to get through my backlog of other games first, and then focus more on indie games and might try Silk Song. But yeah, I think that's the end of the stream. Thanks everyone for watching as always. Hope you have a great rest of the week. And yeah, more tomorrow I'll be streaming again. Thursday I'll be streaming as well, the weekly reset. Tuesday will be the DLC and bow staff free mission stream. So I hope you can join. We'll do a countdown on the official channel so you know when I go live. Thanks always for joining these react streams. I will be back next Monday with a similar stream like this. And of course, if there's a state of play announcement or anything else that deserves a reaction, I'll be here telling you my thoughts. And thanks as always. Good to see everyone every week. Are you disappointed with the state of Borderlands 4? That's another game. I haven't loaded on my PlayStation. No time yet. No time yet. I've also been doing things that I cannot talk about. Like it's been busy, but it's all a lot of fun. So thanks always for joining. I'll speak to you very soon.